A noble young lady awoke one night to discover a naked, handsome man lying beside her. The man had an ambiguous gaze and a suggestive tone, as if the two had shared a romantic encounter the previous night. Yesterday, the homebody college student was still hiding in her room, engrossed in reading web novels. As a veritable loser in life, her student loans were unpaid, her part-time job applications delayed, her job interviews failed, even her social media had 0 followers. In this miserable life, the girl's sole joy was chasing updates to web novels. But that night, the novel unexpectedly paused serialization. She left a furious comment berating the author. Who would have thought that upon standing up, she stepped on a bottle and fell? The girl simply lay on the floor and fell asleep. Unexpectedly, upon waking in the morning, she heard someone call her young lady. Beside her stood deferential servants. The mirror before her reflected her own image dressed as an ancient noble maiden. Shocked, she urgently asked the servant who she actually was. The servant replied she was the youngest daughter of the chief state counselor, the young mistress of the residence, Lady Chasionchik. The girl was instantly stunned. Chasionchik was the supporting female character in the novel. With disbelief, she went outside her room. After surveying the surrounding world, the girl had to accept she truly had transmigrated into the novel's world. Guided by servants, Chasionchik went to see her parents and 3 older brothers. During the meal, she discovered the entire family doted on her excessively. Breakfast was utterly delicious. Thinking of her own years surviving on instant noodles, yet now enjoying such a feast, Chasionchik happily devoured everything before her. Her father praised her delightful change and declared he would seek a good match for his marriageable daughter. Her brother suggested Chasionchik attend the Danhong gathering, a popular gathering among noble young ladies, said to help one find a good match. Tonight was the date of the monthly Danhong gathering. Her father pulled out 2 large strings of copper coins and handed them to Chasionchik. He ordered her to dress to astonish all of Hanyang, commanding her not to spare a single coin. Chasionchik obeyed her father's command with immense joy. From then on, she began enjoying the luxurious life of a noble lady being waited upon. To enter her favorite novel and become a pampered, noble lady, spending extravagantly, who would want to return to being a homebody whose life was rotten? Before attending the Danhong gathering, guided by servants, Chasionchik arrived at a clothing shop to make purchases. A maid helped Chasionchik select 2 outer garments. It was said the clothes were imported from a great nation, made of pure silk and top-tier attire. Since she couldn't possibly spend all the silver her father gave anyway, Chasionchik simply bought both garments at once. At that moment, a woman appeared wanting to seize the clothes from Chasionchik. Through the shopkeeper's introduction, Chasionchik realized with shock this was Du Huaxian, daughter of the right state counselor, the villainess who committed countless misdeeds in the novel. True to her evil reputation, Du Huaxian publicly slapped the shopkeeper, demanding servants remember their place. Seeing this, Chasionchik was infuriated. Yet to avoid attracting notice from this peerless villainess, Chasionchik suppressed her anger and politely yielded the garments to Du Huaxian, hoping only that the evil woman would leave quickly. As they spoke, a great beauty entered. The atmosphere instantly turned peculiar upon her arrival. Praise flowed freely from people's mouths. Only Du Huaxian deliberately bumped into the beauty while walking past, and continuously attacked her with slanderous words. Chasionchik then realized this beauty was the novel's female protagonist, Zhou Yunai. In the novel, Zhou Yunai lost both parents and endured many hardships, but through noble patronage, became the adopted daughter of Joseon's wealthiest man. Later, she overcame class barriers for love with the king's nephew. Unexpectedly, Du Huaxian harbored ill intentions. Du Huaxian also admired Gyeongseong-gun, viewing Zhou Yunai as a rival in love. Tonight's Danhong gathering venue was at the tea house operated by Zhou Yunai's adoptive father. Du Huaxian swore through gritted teeth to ally with Chasionchik, vowing to teach Zhou Yunai a lesson. Chasionchik observed Zhou Yunai through a telescope, discovering her beauty and kindness. Despite her own suffering, Zhou Yunai still distributed alms to the poor. She embodied every trait and halo of the female protagonist. Just as she thought this, the atmosphere around them suddenly tensed. Cha Seon-chaek looked into the distance and spotted the novel's male protagonist, Gyeong Seong-gun, making his entrance. Gyeong Seong-gun, the king's nephew, possessed noble lineage and exceptional martial prowess. He called himself the Royal Hunting Dog, claiming bloodshed followed wherever he went. Accompanying Gyeong Seong-gun was the novel's second male lead, typically gentle, refined, and erudite, who shared a complex rivalry friendship with the protagonist. They were each other's only friend, yet also love rivals willing to cross swords over the heroine, with the villainous Du Hwaseon involved. The plot was devolving into a cliched love quadrangle. To impress her beloved Gyeong Seong-gun, Du Hwaseon seized every opportunity to interfere. As the perennial supporting character who avoided conflict and lacked even a story subplot, Cha Seon-chaek watched excitedly. Being the novel's devoted fan, Cha Seon-chaek knew the plot's trajectory. After tonight's Danhong gathering, the main couple would have their destined encounter. Cha Seon-chaek sat waiting for the classic scene to unfold, planning to witness this bittersweet love quadrangle. As night fell, the long-awaited Danhong gathering finally arrived. At the gathering, young ladies flattered Du Hwaseon. Though inwardly disdaining it, Cha Seon-chaek had to chime in. After all, she was the eternal supporting character. As hostess of the tea house sponsoring the gathering, the novel's heroine Jo Yoon-ae reappeared, serving exquisite tea and desserts to the noble ladies. Du Hwaseon deliberately provoked her, releasing her cup while Jo Yoon-ae poured tea. When the heroine humbly cleaned up, Du Hwaseon kicked away the broken teacup shards, cutting Jo Yoon-ae's finger. The heroine temporarily withdrew to bandage her wound. Cha Seon-chaek kindly offered her handkerchief to Jo Yoon-ae, silently cheering for the heroine. This displeased Du Hwaseon, who switched to wagging tongues, spreading rumors about an improper relationship between Jo Yoon-ae and her adoptive father. Cha Seon-chaek burned with indignation. Witnessing the innocent female lead being bullied, Cha Seon-chaek finally couldn't hold back. She strode swiftly toward Du Hwaseon, declaring fiercely she had something to say. Yet moments later, what spilled from Cha Seon-chaek wasn't an indignant curse, but a beaming invitation instead. She proclaimed that on such a fine night, they should switch from tea to alcohol and drink together. Du Hwaseon accepted, but still targeted Jo Yoon-ae, demanding she personally pour wine. Unexpectedly, Cha Seon-chaek snatched the liquor and shielded the heroine, boasting she'd make a special bomb cocktail for the ladies. Using mixology skills learned in the modern world, Cha Seon-chaek concocted a novel liquor unknown in this story realm. Du Hwaseon took one sip and was instantly captivated. Cha Seon-chaek then instructed the ladies to line up, drinking together with everyone. Throughout the night, she mixed multiple classic bomb cocktails, thus freeing the heroine from the villainous while getting drunk herself. The next morning, Cha Seon-chaek awoke, only to feel her fingers brushing against someone's firm chest in her daze. Opening her eyes, she found a stark, naked, handsome man beside her. Looking closely, the man turned out to be male-led Gyeong Seong-gun. Night fell again. Fresh from drinking bomb cocktails, Cha Seon-chaek wandered dazedly by the riverbank, the very location where the main couple first met in the book. Thrilled with exhilaration, she awaited the iconic scene. Suddenly her foot slipped, nearly plunging her into the water. In the nick of time, novel protagonist Gyeong Seong-gun appeared and caught Cha Seon-chaek. Brimming with excitement, Cha Seon-chaek tried shaking Gyeong Seong-gun's hand as a fan, but found his sword pointed at her instead. Cha Seon-chaek brushed it off. After all, this was a fictional world. Drunkenly, she kissed Gyeong Seong-gun, declaring that as a devoted fan, she knew the true heart beneath his cold exterior. She understood this seemingly lethal male lead was actually lonely, vulnerable, and kind-hearted. Cha Seon-chaek's words struck Gyeong Seong-gun's core. That night, under her bold initiative, the male lead succumbed to her advances, sharing a wondrous night with Cha Seon-chaek. Startled awake, Cha Seon-chaek was shocked by last night's events. She planned to feign ignorance and deny responsibility, but Gyeong Seong-gun pulled her into his embrace, stroking her head with unexpected tenderness while threatening that she must not leave before his return, and must take responsibility for last night. Realizing her recklessness might have disrupted the novel's plot, Cha Seon-chaek decided to personally question the female lead. Upon meeting Jo Yoon-ae, Cha Seon-chaek asked about Gyeong Seong-gun, wondering if Jo Yoon-ae had encountered him last night. Jo Yoon-ae admitted she hadn't seen him, having heard rumors, mistakenly believing Gyeong Seong-gun was impotent and lacked interest in women. Yet Cha Seon-chaek clearly remembered Gyeong Seong-gun's vigorous energy and superb physique last night. Recalling the scenes made her flush crimson. Unaware of the reason, Jo Yoon-ae admired Cha Seon-chaek's forthrightness and proposed becoming close friends. Seeing Jo Yoon-ae's pitiable demeanor, Cha Seon-chaek recklessly reached out, agreeing to be her friend, urging Jo Yoon-ae never to undervalue herself again. But the moment she agreed, Cha Seon-chaek instantly regretted it. Now the situation had worsened. She, a minor character meant to live quietly, had not only slept with the male lead, but also became the heroine's confidant. While devising solutions, servants located her. With momentous news, marriage proposers had come to her residence today. Cha Seon-chaek rushed home immediately. En route, she encountered Gyeong Seong-gun galloping on horseback. Cha Seon-chaek desperately blocked the path. As hooves nearly trampled her, Gyeong Seong-gun's martial prowess allowed his horse to leap cleanly over her. Spared from death, Cha Seon-chaek furiously demanded why he wanted marriage. Gyeong Seong-gun declared with conviction that intimacy between man and woman logically necessitates marriage. Cha Seon-chaek made all kinds of excuses. At times, she claimed to forget last night. At times, she declared marriage couldn't be decided by one night's intimacy. Unexpectedly, Gyeong Seong-gun countered with threats. If Cha Seon-chaek refused, he would charge her entire family with the crime of stealing the chastity of a royal kinsman. Her household would face execution. Imagining her innocent family destroyed and herself possibly drawn and quartered, Cha Seon-chaek had no choice but to comply. She tried buying time by asking Gyeong Seong-gun for leeway to inform her family about the marriage. Gyeong Seong-gun agreed, but gave only 3 days. He would return to propose formally after 3 days. Cha Seon-chaek plotted to escape during this interval. Upon returning home, she immediately packed money and valuables. She refused to rise from supporting character to female lead, knowing heroines inevitably suffer hardships and dangers. Besides, Gyeong Seong-gun's true destiny was with Jo Yoon-ae. She wouldn't come between them. While speaking to servants, villainous Du Hwaseon barged in, slapping the maid who tried to block her. Just as Cha Seon-chaek predicted, Du Hwaseon aggressively demanded where she'd been last night. Du Hwaseon's spies had witnessed Cha Seon-chaek entering and leaving Gyeong Seong-gun's villa, suspecting an intimate relationship. Cha Seon-chaek's reaction confirmed Du Hwaseon's suspicion. Du Hwaseon viciously swore revenge before storming off. Cha Seon-chaek grew more frustrated. She was just a dutiful side character. Why did fate keep forcing her into the spotlight? Determined to escape becoming the protagonist, Cha Seon-chaek resolved to flee. But Gyeong Seong-gun had issued strict orders. No unmarried noblewoman could leave the city. Cha Seon-chaek disguised herself as a man to slip past the guards. Unexpectedly, Gyeong Seong-gun plastered her portrait across the city. If she attempted to leave forcibly, servants would pursue her relentlessly. Cha Seon-chaek nearly broke down, unaware Gyeong Seong-gun was observing her every move through binoculars. Watching Cha Seon-chaek scheming, a smile even surfaced on Gyeong Seong-gun's icy expression. But Cha Seon-chaek refused to yield. Prompted by a servant, she devised another plan. To become the type of woman Gyeong Seong-gun despised. Gyeong Seong-gun was fastidious and detested filth and foul odors. So Cha Seon-chaek plunged into muddy fields, deliberately transforming herself into a beggar. To her shock, Gyeong Seong-gun showed no disgust. Instead, he took her hand, praising her for aiding famine relief, calling her a model noblewoman. Still defiant, Cha Seon-chaek visited Gyeong Seong-gun's villa at night, presenting a falsified birth chart. She claimed their marriage would doom him to an early death. Yet Gyeong Seong-gun remained unmoved. Meeting his destined partner made a shortened life worthwhile. He even demanded she never remarry after his passing. He couldn't tolerate other men touching her, even in death. Cha Seon-chaek deployed her final gambit, shaving her head to become a Buddhist nun. Gyeongseong-gun countered ruthlessly, listing her worldly vices before the abbess, her love of alcohol and meat. Cha Seon-chaek hastily vowed to uphold monastic vows. Gyeongseong-gun struck harder, blurting out she'd already lost her virginity. Hearing this, the abbess chanted Amitabha and refused to accept her. Out of options, Cha Seon-chaek fled into the woods, only to encounter two lecherous bandits. Trapped and desperate, the novel's second male lead suddenly appeared, grabbing Cha Seon-chaek's hand and pulling her to safety. Gazing at his gentle features, Cha Seon-chaek rejoiced inwardly, convinced side characters should logically end up together. Young-soo Jeom, the second male lead, was a scholarly official in the royal library. He invited Cha Seon-chaek to his literary club, outwardly a star-gathering group, but secretly a drinking society. Charmed by this refined gentleman, Cha Seon-chaek succumbed to romantic fantasies and impulsively accepted. Suddenly, Gyeongseong-gun emerged from the shadows, commanding fiercely that she reject the invitation. Just then, Cha Seon-chaek's three brothers passed by. Ignoring all propriety, Gyeongseong-gun addressed them as future brothers-in-law. As he prepared to announce their engagement publicly, Cha Seon-chaek frantically intervened, deliberately collapsing into his arms in feigned faint.